Thanks, guys. Turning out to this, House Republicans are getting ready to subpoena former Obama intel officials and others over the censorship of the New York Post's Hunter Biden laptop story.
Those 51 intel agents that signed a letter that said the Hunter Biden information was all wrong, was Russia collusion, many of them have a security clearance. We're going to bring them before committee. Why did they sign it? Why did they lie to the American public? A Clapper, a Brennan. Why did you use the reputation that America was able to give to you, more information, but use it for a political purpose and lie to the American public?
Fox News contributor David Webb joins us now. David, I'm tired of talking about these 51 without any consequences. Will there ultimately be consequences? Will those 51 individuals be held accountable for what they did?
Well, that's the important question of the day, and the important question that McCarthy and whatever the Republicans do in the next Congress once they're sworn in, what do they deliver? Look, 43 of the 51 were CIA. This was essentially a CIA operation where you have this letter. What did they have? They had the laptop before that. The FBI had the laptop. Who knew what and when? Realize that they weren't just doing this with a letter. There was Supervisory Agent Elvis Chan meeting with Twitter, with a team of agents. There were with Facebook. There were a whole lot of things going on here to carry out what they knew was a fake Russia collusion story to drive this as a political weapon that could be used by Joe Biden in a debate with Trump. So when you look at this, where there's that much smoke, there has to be fire, subpoena power, compel them to come, put them under oath. McCarthy and the Republicans cannot carry out another Washington commission committee where they sit there and just ask questions and tell their own story for 5 minutes or 4 of the 5 minutes, then ask a question with the answer. Enough. The people need answers under oath, and if it needs to and it leads to it, then these are people who possibly may be prosecuted or should be prosecuted.
David, what do you think about this conversation surrounding stamping out disinformation? In some instances, disinformation is just having a contrary opinion to the approved narrative, and yet the federal government is still openly saying that they are trying to fight back against it.
Yeah, it's a lie. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Disinformation is a deliberate action, right? That's something that's being done, for example, by the Chinese on social media platforms like TikTok with information warfare. You look at the instruments of national security, the dime strategy. Information, and in this case, disinformation, is a valuable tool. Calling something disinformation because it's a counter opinion that has a valid point, or at least is worthy of discussion, is simply a lie to push one-sided information. And we saw this coming out regarding so many things, from COVID to Russia collusion, all of these issues.
Finally, David, the school board of Philadelphia is set to review language to a policy that states, quote, students participating in interscholastic athletics may participate on the team of the gender with which they identify. David, that last line that I read, that seems like the end of girls' sports to me. What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, where are the girls trying to play boys' sports? Now, what this is, and I looked into this, you have a 2016 and a 2017 language. You have language there. They want to normalize what used to be in 2016 a case-by-case basis. They now want to make broad acceptance. It's beyond broad acceptance. They want to pervert girls' sports. Governor Wolf vetoed a legislation by the legislature. But if you're expecting biological sanity out of a state that had a Secretary of Health that is a man masquerading as a woman, who becomes Biden's deputy HHS secretary and then is selected as one of the Women of the Year by USA Today, do you really expect sanity out of both Pennsylvania and Philadelphia Democrats or woke progressives? I wouldn't expect it. This is an insult to girls. You should not have boys walking around with their genitals hanging out as they do it with Leah Thomas in the locker room. We now know that this is going on. It's fact. And for fathers and mothers out there, should your daughters be in the locker rooms with boys?
Yeah, the Biden administration also supporting changing Title IX to make it gender neutral. So it's not just at the state level, it's also at the federal level as well. David, got to leave it there.
And that silence you hear is the feminists from the 60s who aren't saying a word to any of this now. David, thank you so much.
They're absolutely silent.